All right. Think I'm back. We'll see where I'm streaming at. We shall see. Maybe it's Friday night. There's a lot of streaming going on. And maybe it's busy, I'm guessing. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to forgo. We're just going to take what we're going to get. And then I'll have to do some tests tomorrow to test things out. Hi, guys. It looks like I'm okay with YouTube. That's the main one because that's where Miss... that's the main one. So that's where I'm going to... all right. I'm going to do that one. All right, guys. What's going on? How are you? Happy Friday. I'm going to start taking calls in a minute. I think, let me see. Woo! Can I just have a personal assistant? Can I just have that? That'd be great. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So wait for some more people to get on. Hey, sorry. The fact that somebody would commit election fraud is BS. That's what I mean. I don't think that I think there is election fraud, and I think that it's BS. That's what I mean. Does that make sense? So I think that's what it is. So, okay, so I'm just going to turn off Facebook. It might come up and it might not come up. I don't know. I think DLive is still up. All right, so, all right. Hey, guys. Okay, I'm not going to start over. I'm just going to go with it today. And I think I'm streaming on at least 2 other platforms. So, oh my God. Yes, DLive, not today. I appreciate, no, okay. This is crazy. All right, just you guys are with me on my journey to figure this out. I appreciate your patience. I didn't mean to flash that up on the screen, but that's okay, I guess. Whatever. All right. How do you block people? Okay, I'll just figure that out later. All right. All right, I think I'm just gonna start taking calls. I didn't really have any, thing to say because I'm just preoccupied with trying to get this working today. And I'm trying to, okay. All right, so number in the chat is 512-481. I'll put it at the top. Let me just, oh my God. Today. 512-481-7464. What is up with this? Let's make this down a little bit. Oh my God. Okay, don't want this up. How do we take it down? Okay, hide message. Okay, there we go. All right. Hey guys. 512-481-7464. Let's see if we can get some calls in today. On the Friday. There we go. Oh my God. Okay. 512. And I will pin it up to the top. If you guys want to call, while we're waiting for calls, you guys, you can definitely just ask me questions in the chat. Wait till we get some more people on. I guess. Yeah, dude, you don't watch. Yeah, well, we'll just talk about it. I'll just wait for some people to call in. I guess, but people are like, election fraud, really? I mean, they're just people that are also brain dead, and they just listen to the mainstream media, and they don't have a brain for, they don't think for themselves. So if the TV tells them that there's no election fraud, they're going to believe it. And I'm just over with those people. Like, I saw a campaign. I made a video on it the other day where it was a commercial ad, I guess, talking about trying to pressure. Her name is Emily. She's head of the General Services Administration that's supposed to release the money for Joe Biden to start his transition. But, Congress actually wrote her a letter and apologized and told her that the letter that she received from the Democratic Party was invalid because the election is still in question. And technically there is no president-elect. So the media can report on a winner if there's no question and, everybody agrees that the winner is set, but they can't, they don't have the authority to call the election. So all these little banners that you see at the bottom of your YouTube videos that say AP has called the election, they can call it all they want. Doesn't mean that it's technically correct. So, I mean, so this letter from the General Services or to the head of the General Services Administration is basically telling her that she was right to hold off on releasing the funds and signing the papers until a clear winner has been declared. That's what our Constitution, our laws, we have these laws. This is what makes our country very powerful, is the fact that we have, Constitution and we have certain laws that we abide by. But, people are just dumbed down and they're ignorant. And, there are people that, there might be a few people that honestly want to know, but I was just talking to somebody today and I'm just like, honestly, I'm just over these people that just don't want to, they don't want to hear the other side, that want to call names, that, that want to live in fear and thinks like half the country is white supremacists. I just don't really know what to do with those people anymore. Like, except, ignore them and just, if they want to talk, fine. But I'm not trying to proselytize anybody and make them see my point of view if they don't want to. So 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. I haven't been, and I was watching the news the other day. I was watching mainstream news and Kayleigh McEnany was on and she was like, talking about the evidence that they have for election fraud, and the anchor cut in, and this was Fox, and Fox cut in and they were like, oh, well, I'm sorry. We just can't let her go on because this is just ridiculous. Well, let us decide, what the fuck? Anyway, caller. Hello.
Shalom.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Hey, how you doing? This is David.
Oh, God, I got two of you. Okay, wait.
Yeah,
wait, hold on one second.
Magic Negro Show.
Oh, what's up? What's up? Hold on one second.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Hold on.
We got two of us. Happy Friday.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Let me talk to David first, and then other caller, would you just hold on until I finish with David?
My name's Andy.
Okay, Andy, would you just hold on, let David talk first, and then just listen?
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks. Sorry, but I don't know why that happens sometimes. I don't know. Two birds with one stone. Anyway, hey, David, what's up? Long time no hear.
Hey, it's great to hear your voice. I'm keeping up with you. You're doing a lot of lives, and I'm tuning in when I can. I'm like working in a warehouse, and I'm pulling a pallet jack around, and I got you set up on my some way on my little pallet jack, and I'm pulling orders, and I'm like just getting updated, what's going on in our country. And I want to thank you first and foremost for all the hard work you're doing. You're dedicated to this, and it shows. And everybody here that's listening to you, you're getting an opportunity that is so rare in our world today. Where she grew up, who she is, and the fact that she's talking the way that she is, come on, let's just be honest. So, I thank you so much, Virstyne. I want to say that. And I could do this for like half an hour, but I just want to get to it. But and hey, good evening, Andy. Shalom to you, man. And what was the question?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. So basically, I guess the focus, we could start off with the lockdowns and their BS, and then, election fraud, because I know that the election is on everybody's mind, and then the lockdowns too, since they have these lockdowns. And where are you? Do you have strict lockdowns where you are?
I live in Shreveport, Louisiana now. I was living in Vegas, but I've been out here for about a year, and the people there, they're really submissive. If they impose some kind of lockdown, so a lot of people are going to get freaked out, because that's the goal of witches, and they're executing their mandates, and people are just falling right in line. So, yes, there will be some people that will be participating in the lockdowns out here in Shreveport. So
they locked down Louisiana?
No, Louisiana's not locked down. It's we're moving around doing what we do. I work on my aunt's food truck. People are coming up, getting food, and ain't nobody tripping. Are people wearing masks there? Yes.
Religiously?
Yeah, I'm about to go to Walmart right now, and I just put the mask on. I'm not even tripping. But I always pull it down and let my nose show. Just a little bit of I'm not just going to completely follow that stuff, because I know it's just nonsense.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, I'm very defiant about it, but I understand too how people just want to get in and get out. Like, there's no judgment, but I just, you can take your nose out and just breathe through. Even when I had to work before I got fired, I would breathe through my nose and close my mouth, because I knew that I was inhaling the microfibers and stuff,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, man. It's just people's willingness to just comply without asking questions and using their common sense. And there have been numerous scientific studies that say that they don't work. In fact, that they're, and I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about, the whole populations, where, the science shows. Danish study just came out with 6,000 people showing there was no difference in the people that got sick and didn't get sick that were wearing masks. And then you can also take data from different cities showing that the cities that had the largest lockdowns still had the most cases. So it doesn't matter. Like, this is just, I can't believe, like, people are just like, oh, well, they told us to, so I guess we have to. Are you 5? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, they are.
Like,
they are. They're like children.
Right.
Waiting for somebody to tell them what to do. Richard Nixon said it in the 70s. He said, the American people won't believe it unless they see it on the television. And that quote just stands the truth to this day.
Yeah. It's even gotten worse now, though. It's gotten worse, and I just.
Social media.
Yeah. Social media.
Social media. That's another factor.
I mean,
you carry that around with you.
Yeah, that I have mixed feelings about it, but because I also think that it's a good thing. We've been able to fight back using social media. So I mean, these, had we not had social media, we wouldn't have been able to make it this far. They wouldn't have to censor. They didn't have to censor before because we didn't have any other way of recording, incidences ourselves. If they, the mainstream media would say one thing, but then you have a bunch of people with their camera phones that's recording it from their point of view, and then they post it, then they, they don't have control anymore. So that's why they're trying to lock down and censor and, shame people that don't follow what they say. And shaming is a big thing, because I really feel like people give in more to that than listening to what the media says. So if they can get enough people to shame you into doing something, other people will follow, and people, a lot of people,
pressure.
Peer pressure and the insecurity of other people, they will, definitely, that really is, I would say, the main thing of keeping people in line. And I'm just over that shit. I'm over it.
Emotions, it's a lot of emotionalism, sensationalism. It's all tying in with Trump too, because it's like, oh, you know, I need to oppose the orange man. And if the orange man is saying it's a hoax right out the gate,
yeah, I know.
Okay, but he had to renege because of the economy, you know, because he has to work for the economy. So I understand the move that he made. It's a chess move.
Yeah,
and the rest of the country's going with it. And that's just like him standing up like Alex Jones saying, no, it's fake, it's a hoax. And then the machine is still operating against him. And then people, you know, some people are seeing it, but a lot of people aren't. They still trust it. They still trust it.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I just, yeah, I mean, it's they're brainwashed. You can't tell people they're brainwashed, and you know, because you know the thing about brainwashing, I've noticed too. People think when you say that you're attacking their intelligence, and it has nothing to do with intelligence. Because I know many intelligent people that you know that are buying into this stuff. It has to do with like
exactly.
Yeah, the other things.
Yeah,
that
you know,
are wrong,
I know where I came from. Right? You know, one day I woke up and I was looking around and I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm being manipulated emotionally. And that was 2009. I was hashtag walk away in 2009.
Whoa, before
really?
Walk Away was invented.
Yeah. yeah.
You're like a time
like,
traveler.
I'm on the other side of town. Like, hey, y'all, good to see you now.
I know.
Good to see you.
You're like, finally, you've arrived. You've arrived.
Company.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. You know, I mean, what I find interesting is that a lot of the stuff is going on, the coronavirus and stuff. A lot of my friends have been talking about for at least a decade, and now we're just kind of pinching ourselves. We're like, this is creepy, but this is also kind of surreal because we knew that they're going to try and pull some one world new order BS on us, and we see it happening before our eyes. And there's still people that are complying. But I still think that a lot of people are still waking up. And I think the thing is most people are good and they just can't fathom that amount of evil. They can't fathom that people would shut down a whole, you know, planet for their own, you know, benefit, even if it means other people's lives are being destroyed. You know, people's lives are being destroyed. Yeah. Mental illness is up, you know, domestic abuse is up. You know, child abuse is up. People are losing their businesses. Suicides are up. These lockdowns are causing more harm than good over a disease that has a 98 to 99% survival rate, over a disease that's so deadly that you have to get a test to see if you have it or not. You know, over disease right. that would have, if it was so rampant, it would have killed the homeless population first. You know, because they were outside and not social distancing, you know, over a disease that, you know, we're not using hazmat bins to put everything, not biohazard bins, right? You know, when you see the virologists and they're working with these viruses, they wear a hazmat suit. But this is supposed to be so deadly and it's supposed to kill, like, this is just, I mean, I just can't, like, I want to, some days it just depends on what mood I'm in. I clown people, and then other days I'm upset because people are so gullible and I'm seeing people suffer over nothing. And we're the ones that are doing this to ourselves, you know?
Exactly. Hey, COVID masks are the new litter.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, where are all the environmentalists at? Because, you know, there's such in a hoopla about getting rid of straws and how they're like straws are polluting. But then I'm seeing all these masks that are everywhere on the ground, you know? Everywhere. And I'm just like, in the next year, you're going to see like whales with masks stuck to them. You know, they're like, save the whales, save the turtles. Like the turtles are going to be having the mask on because they got, tangled up in the mask, you know, like it's going to be crazy. So I don't know, man. Yeah. You got to just have a sense of humor about it sometimes because it's so ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, totally. And about this election fraud.
Yeah. So what's about, what do you think?
Okay. I'm optimistically hopeful that Trump can pull it off. You know, a lot of those lawsuits are failing and they're running out of time. There was something with Georgia today. What was that with Georgia? Did it go to
okay. So I listened to the press conference with Giuliani, and I've just been watching lots of other mainstream sources that are actually covering it and not denying that it exists. So they can just go to higher courts and stuff. And what they're trying to do, like they're recounting, it seems like in certain places, but if you're recounting the fake ballots, it doesn't matter. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to audit and get them to look and compare the fake ballots to the real ballots, because they're ballots that, you know, they're witnesses saying that like a lot of the ballots, you know, have the same signature. So they had people sitting in a room that were just signing the ballots and or you know, like you know, filling in the ballots and over again, right? And the
Right.
computer machine is supposed to verify signatures, and I guess they turned like the DPI down, so any signature would be scanned through. So if you turn it up, I know this is kind of sinister, right? They're like, oh, we're just gonna turn
Man,
they're
these
gonna
guys.
yeah, I know, right? They're gonna turn the DPI down. And then you have all the whistleblowers coming out from the post office now talking about like how they had to backdate the ballots. They've been having success in Pennsylvania because they had a lot of ballots thrown out that were like backdated and that weren't their signatures weren't verified. And then in Georgia, I think they're trying to get them to audit the ballot. So, but I mean, they can just it's probably gonna go to the Supreme Court, because it's all what do you call it? A lot of the smaller courts, they're all corrupted too. They're all in on it. They're all corrupted.
Right.
You know, they got either got money or they're in on the reset plan or whatever you want to say, you know, or they have investments in the system, or they have an investment in Trump not being reelected because they've been promised something from, you know, some people in the Democratic Party. So, I mean, I feel like this is all going to come to light. I'm actually optimistic too. We've come too far. Like I've seen, like I started off this journey in the middle. Like I didn't vote at all at first. I was pretty much done with voting after I voted for Obama the first time. And then I found out a bunch of stuff about him. And I was just like, you know, it doesn't even matter. And then, I got, you know, the spirit reignited me to vote doing midterms. And that was the first time I voted since like 2008. And then I voted in this election. And I think that, you know, but I was pushed over to the side by people that I was talking to, by seeing how my friends were treated, because I've always had friends on all sides of the political spectrum, and seeing how my friends were being abused. Some of my friends that were reporters that were, you know, were getting harassed, getting their families' lives threatened, getting their lives threatened, getting their drinks poisoned when they got going out. A friend of mine was run out of Chicago and had her business that her and her husband had spent years building because they were Trump supporters. Friends getting attacked like Black Lives Matter. A friend of a friend's store got rampaged, who was Black, who was another Black gay man, by Black Lives Matter. Liberals telling me, you know, when I'm talking about, you know, when I was Lyft driving, just speaking to a lot of liberals in Austin and just seeing how like supremacists they were. So, I mean, I've gone through a lot to really change my mind and move to this side. And, and then I've seen, I mean, this country, it's really been a great journey for me. I've met amazing people. I've met other YouTubers that I feel are kindred spirits. We haven't met, some of them I've met in person and some I haven't. But, you know, I feel like I've met definitely a lot of kindred spirits on this journey. And to me, from my point of view, I've seen a lot of togetherness. I've made friends with people of all races, socioeconomic backgrounds, different sexes, you know, different nationalities, you know, who are we all have a common goal of being Americans and loving this country. And then to top that all off, you have the mainstream media lying on us and saying that it's a white supremacist movement and anybody that joins them are Uncle Toms, or they're stupid. They're too stupid to think for themselves, or they're just, you know, they're just ignorant, or they're brainwashed. They're in a cult. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I'm just being calm. I'm cool. I'm not upset. Like, I know that this is going to be overturned, and I just can't wait to have a party. I'm going to have a party on this channel. I'm setting up right now.
Yeah.
We're going to have a victory party.
So what do you think about Proud Boys being called neo-fascists?
Oh, they're
I actually support them.
They're retarded. The leader's a Black Cuban guy. A very hot Black Cuban guy, I might add. He's a Cuban guy. He's a black dude. He's like, he's a nerd. I'm like, are you serious? And I know friends that have like hung out with him, like Red Pill Rage and, you know, other people, a few other people I know, they've hung out. They're not like, it's the same shit. It's just like anything that the media goes against their narratives, they're just gonna lie and twist. So it's the same story, different day, you know? I'm not even surprised, you know? They call black people now that support this side white supremacists. So, I mean, it's like they've never read a dictionary. It's like, you know, it's like they don't know, but people, people
Trump supporters are Russian agents now.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're Russian agents, we're white supremacists, we're right-wing terrorists, we're everything. We're just everything, right? Whatever.
Right.
I'm just so bored with those people. I'm just so bored. I'm so bored with these people. I'm bored to tears with them because they're just so they're just, you know, they're so arrogant. Then they're destroying their own lives. They're destroying their own. You know, I have a friend. She's come on and talked before, and she has her own channel too. And a lot of her friends are like elitists she went to school with, and they're like professors, or they work for the UN, or they're in academia. And they have a lot of book smarts, but outside of that, they're like worthless. They're like, and from some of the stuff I've seen them post on her wall and some of the stuff she tells me, I'm like, these are the most horrible fucking people ever. They're so judgmental. They're so racist in the things that they say. And they think that they own humanity. They think that they own, you know, as a friend of mine said today, you know, she said it perfectly. They think that they own people's emotions and rights to tell them what to do. It's a different credentialist, you know, supremacist attitude. To me, is actually more harmful than racism, you know, because they have more power and because they're, you know, they're wealthy or they've been well educated and they have the media, you know, one of the most powerful entities on the planet on their side. They have Hollywood on their side and they have academia on their side. They're, you know, they think they're unstoppable and they're going to use their resources to destroy people's lives. Like Andrew Ocasio-Cortez is going to make a list talking about that they need to go after Trump supporters. That's some Nazi shit.
She's out of line.
That's some Nazi shit.
She's out of line for that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's out of line. Yeah, and more people should just be aware. Like, you have people like that serving in a public office.
But they think they're so pure. Yeah.
Weird ass shit like that.
And, you know, she thinks that, you know, they think that they're so pure and so righteous. And, you know, I was watching Jordan Peterson and he's totally right. And I feel like even before I saw this video, I've had to grapple with this with myself, that you don't have the capacity for good until you realize the capacity that you have for evil. And I'm like, these people don't realize the capacity that they have for evil because they're committing evil and they don't even see it. Even though everything that they're doing to other people, they wouldn't want done to them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I learned this African proverb. Ignorance is evil.
Oh dang! They just cut straight to the chase. I like it. I like it. Let me let you go, Dave. I'm gonna get to the other caller though.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for kind words.
And I'll be listening.
Okay, thanks, David. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Hey, Andy.
You too. Shalom, shalom.
Oh, shalom. Bye-bye. Hi, Andy. What's up?
Hey, I'm doing good. David, thank you so much, my brother. I agree with so much that you say. I appreciate that. A little bit about me. I'm a older white American male married to a African Kenyan. And so we have a diverse marriage. I am strict conservative. She is on the left. So we don't agree politically. We agree on everything else. I mean, we have a great marriage. We have a great life. We have great things going on, but we don't agree. And this whole thing with this election, and I'm thinking that Trump's going to win because he's going to prove without doubt that there's been so much fraud that's been given in this election that, and I'm hoping, I hope, because there's been so many things that like that we could have proven that we don't prove, and then nobody does anything about it. But I'm hoping that we can prove that, yes, he did win the election. There was this fraud that was perpetuated, you know, in Pennsylvania, Michigan, in Arizona, in Georgia, in Nevada. I mean, this has to happen.
But did you listen to? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
I'm
you
sorry?
off. Oh, no, I didn't mean to cut you off. You go on. I was going to say.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I was going to say, did you see the briefing with Cindy Powell? She was saying that they had one of the witnesses. She says, actually, there have been a lot of witnesses coming forward, and one of their key witnesses that they have moved to America, but used to work for Cesar, what's his name? Cesar Chavez. Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. And he was in the military, and he was talking about that the Dominions in there, and he was saying that he was in the meetings. He was standing guard in the meetings, listening to them talk about this, and they were talking about that the software was meant directly to cheat. And then the same thing happened in Venezuela, and then he moved to America, and then we saw what happened with the election, because Trump was in the lead by far, and then all of a sudden they just stopped the count, and he was like, "Oh no, this is exactly what happened in Venezuela. Like, I have to come forward and I have to say something." So,
No.
go on.
Exactly. You're 100% correct. The problem is nobody is accepting this. Nobody is actually going to look back and seeing what's going on.
Well, I mean, we also have, we're in a war right now. You have to understand. I feel like, just comparing the rallies, Trump's rallies to Biden rallies, comparing the fact that I know a lot of people that have voted for Trump who are scared members, because they're scared that their family members are going to, turn against them or go crazy on them. I know that there's a lot of silent Trump supporters out there. And just the spontaneous rallies that were popping up all over America, the boat parades and everything. I know that he has way more support than people that don't support him. There's another sect of a population.
If you look back to like if you look back to the 100 laptop, which the FBI has had for over a year, and nothing's been done about it.
Yeah.
And then, it comes out in the news and nothing's been done about it. I mean, so what's to say anything will be done about all of these revelations that are being brought up by Cindy Powell and Mayor Giuliani?
Because now they have it. They're not the only people that are working. They have a team of people. They have hundreds of lawyers working on this. And I think, you have to think about this too. I know Trump's a very smart guy. He's been saying that there's been election fraud before he was elected the first time. I feel like they've probably been keeping tabs on this for years. Like, they didn't just discover it. And it's kind of like you have to let the robber leave the bank before you can accuse him of bank robbery. So, and if they were to, take action on the Hunter Biden laptop, they could be accused of interfering in an election, then that's their thing. So they have to kind of let it play out. And I think that, Giuliani's a prosecutor, right? Or I think he was a prosecutor. He's taken down mob rings and stuff. Right. When you take people down like that, and of course we know, if the FBI had this last for a long time and they didn't do anything, then obviously there are people in the FBI that are in on it, right? We know that the swamp runs really deep. So you can't just arrest that one person. You're there because if you just arrest that one person, anybody else that's involved, they're going to throw that person under the bus, and then they're going to just keep doing what they're doing. Like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing in Hollywood, I've heard about that for years. I didn't know if it was true, but just hearsay. I've heard that Harvey Weinstein raped people, but you know what? I also heard that his brother raped women too. So they just threw Harvey Weinstein under the bus. Even his own brother probably threw him under the bus. Celebrities are in on it, or not all. Not a lot of them. I'll just say a lot, right? A lot of them have gone to Epstein's Island and stuff. But the thing is, you can't just arrest that one person. You have to have a larger reach, and you have to be patient, and it has to take time to come down. Does that make sense?
It does, but we saw it with the Hillary email thing. We saw it with the Russian collusion. We saw it with as soon as Trump was elected, he was diselected because everybody felt that he was not the right person because Russia interfered. And now we have actual proof. Now notice that the left aren't saying that there's no election interference here, so let's just all kind of get along now everything is wonderful. But no, I mean, there is facts that show that there has been interference in this election, and it comes from the Democrats.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's going to take time. It's a lot of stuff to prove. There's a lot of people involved. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen just, overnight. And like I said, they've probably been watching this and collecting data on this for years. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, he's been talking about this before this election. They've had to, they have to find out they also have to find out who's against, this country and who's not. And this whole corruption with trying to bring down America has taken place at least, I don't know, since the Bushes and maybe before that. This has been decades and decades and decades of corruption that they're going to have to take down. They can't just, arrest one person, and the FBI is in on it. You have good and bad, black and white hats in all stages of government. We know about the Epstein. What?
This has to end by December 14th.
Okay.
December 14th, there needs to be put, the electors to say who's, they're voting for, who's the next president.
Well,
So
I heard that. I heard.
This is a major issue to prove in court. So they may not have enough time. They may. President Trump brought back in. However, they can't give it up. They need to continue. They need to fight. They need to show that this has been an illegal election.
Did you watch the last briefing? It was like 90 minutes with Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and there was another lady.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so what did they say? They say, I trust what they say. They were saying, yeah, they need enough time. They have a lot of evidence to prove it in court. They're very confident. They have lots of witnesses. They have lots of witnesses who have signed affidavits. They have people within the company that's coming forward. It's not like, it's all hearsay. They have, engineers or people that were involved with the software testifying. So, and if it's not, I've heard that they have until the 14th, but also, about 3 more weeks? But also, I think they can extend it still, as long as the people don't certify, and if the electors don't certify, and electors don't certify, what was I going to say?
If they don't certify, it goes to the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
And in that case, we have representatives of 31 states, and the Liberals have representatives of 19 states. And we get 1 vote per state.
So wait, how many does the right have?
31.
And they have 19? Okay, so what are you worried about? Why are you worried? Why are you worried?
What am I worried about?
Do you just want to worry?
That's where we need to go. That's where we need to go to. But if you allow the states to certify their results, then it's lost.
Yeah, but they, and then certain states, their certifications are in different days. I think some are the 30th of this month, some are the 1st.
Sure.
So, I don't know, like, you just do what you can do. So, you've done what you can do. I don't know. I've really been practicing, and I've been in a state of just like not worrying if there's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is talk about it. Like, I've been doing live, so we can talk about it. We can spread information. We can keep each other in good spirits. Until then, we've already voted. If you vote, I don't know. And that's all we can do. And we have to trust and know that there are lots of there's so many people now at this point, because of everything that's happened and all of the abuse and all of the censorship, that also has an investment in making sure that this comes to light. Not just me and you, but the lawyers that are working on the case, the other honest journalists that are in, that want to, they know what's at stake. They know that if we don't get through this, we're going to be living in a communist country.
The worst case scenario is that we lose the 2 Georgia elections for Senate coming up.
That's not happening. I'm not going to even put that out there. That ain't happening. But I'm just saying, you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there are people that we don't even know that are working for us. We don't even know their names. We don't know what they're doing. There's lots of people that, think of all the immigrants that have come from communist countries to seek refuge here. When I was working for Lyft, I lifted a guy from Venezuela, and I was talking to him, and he was telling me that, they didn't want the socialism. It was totally overthrown. And now with the Dominion voting systems, this is coming out that, these computers, these voter machines were made specifically to steal elections. Not only that, you have people like Nancy Pelosi and the Clintons tied to it. Big surprise, right? Dianne Feinstein tied to this, right? Investors in this. Big surprise, right? Very interesting. So, what is today's date? What is it? The 20th? So we have 10 days plus 24 more days. But they already have, they were saying that they already have a lot of proof. I think their biggest obstacle right now is the fact that a lot of the lawyers that are working on the case are getting threatened with their lives. And a lot of the people, that's the biggest obstacle, I think, right now. It's not even having proof.
They need to get in front of a court.
But they're going to.
They're present this evidence.
I know, they're going to, though. They have to go. So even if, and then I think there was one mainstream news outlets that says, they were like, oh, they had to drop the lawsuit, but the lawsuit was dropped because they actually were doing what they want them to do, I think, which was audit the votes.
Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, but they got the audit votes, so then they didn't need a lawsuit. But you see how the media twists. I don't even watch mainstream media. I think that's why I'm in such a good mood. I do watch it.
What they want you to hear.
Yeah. I do. I do watch it. I do check in, but I don't fill my head with that shit because I know that they're just twisting everything, and they're trying to kill your spirit, and they know they have an interest. They're invested in making sure that he doesn't win because he knows if he doesn't win, that they're really, really they're already done, but they're really done. They're overcooked, And especially now, and it's ticking me off that they're just cutting people off when they're they don't have any evidence, and when they're about to say the evidence that they have, then they cut them off. Well, let us determine that for ourselves. Why are they cutting it and saying, oh well, I just can't, I can't, it's too ridiculous.
Can I say one more thing? One more thing, and I'll let you go.
Okay.
If Donald Trump loses, because they don't investigate, they don't pursue these avenues, that we need to stand up for this man. And we need to take it past whatever they decide to let them know that, no, this is not what we decided, the American people. And we take it to the streets, we protest, we make sure that they know they're not going to get their agenda across because we're against it.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to ask you something. So how is your wife? She won't listen to what you have to say, or you guys are in two different.
No, she just kind of blows me off. She's like, oh, no, that's a bunch of noise. I don't hear it. So it's but we get along. Every other thing we get along, but it's just that.
Well, if she can still respect you and she sees this come to light and there's no denying it, she'll probably come around. I hope, I wish you success.
If we can prove that the Democrats have stolen this election, yes.
But look, there's already enough evidence that you can go and find out yourself. So, what are you waiting for the mainstream media to say it? Because they're never going to do that. So you're going to have to use your, what you can find to prove, because what we're supposed to, we have proof, there's affidavits, there's the software engineers coming out, there's the fact that these machines can be manipulated. There are people, they didn't even let the people, the electors, not the electors, the people look at the votes. They're supposed to have people standing around. So if they were so innocent and they weren't doing anything, why weren't they letting them look at the votes, right? Why did they?
It's like the conspiracy theory, to where she's like, oh, that's not right. That's not going to happen. So what I did, I was like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Taxes are going to go up. Gas prices are going to go up. Cost of living is going to go up. All of these things are going to go up. And it's all because of you, because of all of you who voted for it. And they accept this? And she's like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm like, wait, it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, you have to get to a point though where you know what you know, and you can't let people, you know what I mean? It's like you're trying to please people that don't respect you anyway. If you're just waiting for the right people to tell you what happened.
No, you're right.
I mean, the proof is going to be whether it's overturned. I guess the proof is going to be.
I tell her the things that you said because she doesn't believe them.
But I mean, look, but she can go and look some of this stuff up. So why is she so defiant if she's so, if she's so correct that her side won honestly? Why is she so defiant about looking up into the other side?
It's how maybe people in her community are. They're like really left. They like Democrats because when they come to this country, they're like Democrats the way you should vote. And then, you tell them, it's like, well, no, that's not true. There's some that kind of come to this side, but there's most that don't.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not worried about those people. I don't I know what I know. They think they know what they know. I'm not trying to convince those people. When he wins and they turn this around, they're still not going to believe it. So what? They're just going to be like, "Oh, he cheated. He's a dictator. See, I told you." Like, "Oh my God!" And then they're gonna, and then Antifa's gonna cry, and Black Lives, they're gonna get together with their terrorist friends of Black Lives Matter, gonna burn shit down. And then they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's the Trump supporters." Like they don't have logic. They don't have, they're just gonna be. But like, no, but it was you that was rioting in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. I don't really, I know what I know. And if people want to know, I'll tell them, I'll show them what I know, but the people are going to believe what they want to believe anyway. And,
it's like, there is no logic to say why you believe this way. This is just what they believe, period. Anything you propose, no, we don't want to hear about it. Stop. Don't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then I'm just saying, like, why I just don't waste my energy on people like that. They want to be ignorant. They want to live in fear, and when it comes out, they still won't believe it. So they're just people that aren't going to wake up. They're just people, I hope that most people will, but there are people are going to think that, there's still people in their 40s that think that the media never lies to them and there's no such thing as corruption. There's no such thing as evil. And I just don't really know what to do with those people anymore, except, wish them well and just go on about my life. I'm over it. It's really like I used to teach kindergarten, and I understand if you have that mentality, if you're 5 years old, but if you're an adult and you still think like that, then I don't teach kindergarten anymore.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We go on in everything else. It's just that one area, but I'm not going to hold that against her. She's not going to hold it against.
And that's beautiful. Other, so. Yeah, that's beautiful for sure. Like, that shows a lot of good things about your wife, because there are people, because of all of this going on, their relationships have been destroyed. Because at least it seems like your wife is willing to respect your opinion, but there are people that can't even do that. And they're ruining their friendships and they're ruining their relationships because of it. So anyway, Andy, let me get to the next caller. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you for talking with me.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
I've watched you for many months, and I think you're beautiful, and I think, you're on the right path. You're going to do something good for this country.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Andy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. The number is at the top of the chat on YouTube. If you want to ask me questions, I'm reading the chat right now. So if you want to ask me questions in the chat, we'll wait for the other caller. I thought somebody else was calling, but it's fine. You can't save everyone. I know. I wish I can, but I don't know. It makes me sad sometimes thinking that, and then it also is very relieving, because it's like, you're like somebody's hanging off the edge of the building and you have their hand and You're like, give me your other hand so I can pull you up. But they're like, no, no. And you're like, well, if you don't give me your other hands, you're going to like fall and you're going to take me with you. So it's either you let them go or they give you your other hand. And then if they don't, you bounce. You just bounce because you got to save your life too. Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Good evening. How are you? Who is this?
My name is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
And, awesome to be on your show tonight. I've been watching you for a little bit.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, I want to be a voice of encouragement to you. Do you know that right now, before the U.S. Supreme Court, that there is a case concerning Pennsylvania's Supreme Court decision to have the ballots come in postmarked by Election Day, and then they gave a 72-hour window for that? Well, the Pennsylvania GOP sued the election board for that. That case went to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, where the GOP lost, but promptly sent that to the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, now when they did that, they sent two things to the U.S. Supreme Court. One, let's hurry up and get this thing decided, and the actual case. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court said no to the hurry up and let's decide this, but they didn't rule on the case itself. Okay, the next day, Judge Alito put out an order saying that you have to sequester all of those ballots. Okay, well, that's why. Okay, that's why he put that out there, because this case is before the U.S. Supreme Court right now. 3 U.S. Supreme Court justices also put out statements that said they're ready to rule. And so any day, the U.S. Supreme Court can hand down this decision and decide that the state Supreme Court was wrong and that you have to do something with all these sequestered ballots that we just told you to sequester. And if they're not sequestered, then probably we'll just go with the time of what the only thing they have. You see, the problem is the Pennsylvania Supreme Court started to write law. What they did is they invented the postmark. Nothing in the legislature's Rule 77 that was passed in 2019 says anything about postmarking ballots. Nothing doesn't say anything about coming in 72 hours, 3 days afterwards. That's all written law by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
So they
That's
just like made it up.
From the bench.
They just made it up. It's never going to lie.
Yeah, they just made it up out of thin air.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court, there's no way they're going to rule in favor of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. There's no way, because legislating from the bench is a huge no-no.
Yeah.
And so now this case is going to come down any day. Any day, the U.S. Supreme Court is going to rule on this case, and they're going to rule against the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
So if they rule against it, they're going to have to throw out all those ballots that were backdated.
Yeah, they're either going to do that, or I think that they probably will go, hey, you guys mixed them when we told you not to. And so now you're going to come back at us saying, we don't know what ballots came in afterwards and which ones came in before. And sorry, we just were, election volunteers. We got a little confused. Well, then the U.S. Supreme Court, I believe at that point is, and I hope I don't ruin your life with this, because if I'm right, I'm going to give a U.S. Supreme Court decision early. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is going to happen is the U.S. Supreme Court is going to say, okay, well, you mixed all the ballots and we don't know what is what, so we're just going to go with what's written in the law, and that's 8 o'clock on election night. This thing's over.
Yeah.
8 o'clock on election night, it's over. Well, who was ahead at 8 o'clock on election night? Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, that means Pennsylvania in one day can be taken away from Biden and handed to Trump permanently. Any day that's going to happen.
Oh my God.
Okay? Now it's.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now you want to know another fun one?
Yeah, you're gonna make my afro jump. I'm so excited.
Yeah, okay, I'll get used to this, because Dominion software executives are hiding under their desks right now.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
They were asked to be to go before the Pennsylvania legislature and explain some of their stuff, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll do it. We're great." Well, then some lawyers started whispering to them and said, "You're going to incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
You might not want to go there and be under oath."
Yeah.
And so then they changed their minds and said no. And then so the Pennsylvania legislature went to the media and just chastised them, up one side, down the other. I mean, just basically de-dressed them, just de-dressed them. And so everybody knows that Dominion's liars because they hid from the truth when they had a chance to explain their situation. They chose not to. And so
yeah, I know.
the Dominion
That makes
software,
them look really guilty, which they are, but it makes them, makes them look really, it looks bad on them. It does, yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's lawyer advice. That's lawyer advice. Any lawyer will tell their client, don't be testifying unless you absolutely have to, because whatever you say will be used against you. So no, you're not going anywhere near that. But you want to know the really fun part about this? You want to know the fun part about this whole thing?
Yeah, I love fun.
Is that, okay, there was a raid in Germany, and the U.S. military had raided Dominion Software's parent office and took some servers.
Oh, okay, wait, hold on one second. So wait, I have a question though, because I know Cindy Powell was saying that she didn't know if it was like the good guys or the bad guys. So
it's the white hat.
Okay, good.
No, it's the white.
Okay,
it's the white hat. And now, but that's not even the important thing. That's just for window dressing. Because how do you suppose they got this? What happens is you scan the vote in the little scanning machine, which sends that directly to Germany to the server. Okay, and you know how it sends it? It streams it. What can you do with it? Do you really think the NSA, do you really think our National Security Agency got fooled and this happened without them knowing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, really?
Well, that's what I was explaining to the last guy. It runs very deep, so it's going to take a minute. You know what I mean? It can't. They can't just be like, "Oh, that's the bad guy. No more bad guys." Yeah, it's going to take a while. Like they're probably. I'm guessing that they're probably going to try and get the election stuff straightened out, and they're still going to be investigating after like Trump wins and they turn this around. They're still going to be. It's gone. It's so deep that it's going to take like a year or two or more. You know, to get everybody.
No, it won't take that long. Nope, won't take that long. It's actually only going to take, this is all going to be over. Well, it's over today because.
Well, I'm not talking about the election, but I'm talking about like after this whole election messes, then they're going to have trials to like incriminate people and get people like that. That's what's going to take like a year or more, I think, to get through.
Well, that's how they're going to get the House seats. They lost the House seat yesterday. The Dems lost the House seat yesterday. Every week, the Dems lose 1 or 2 House seats in these recounts.
Oh my God! So Skeletor isn't the House Speaker anymore?
She's down to about 8. She's running out of gun. She's running out of gun. The witch is almost dead. And each time there's like in Michigan, when these recounts are done honestly, it's not only Trump votes that got messed with, it's John James votes.
And Kim Klacik too. Like, you know, Kim Klacik.
That is I tell you what.
I love her.
Help them. Lord help them when he gets in the U.S. Senate. I called my Republican senator and I said, you go to John James right now and you tell him that he's the rightful senator and that you back him 100%. Because when they come out with all this stuff and those votes for Trump go to Trump, well, also votes are going to go to John James, and he ain't behind them by that much. And so he is going to be Michigan's next senator. I'll say that publicly right now.
Yeah. And Kim Klacik in Baltimore and Maryland, and she's actually they're actually investigating voter fraud too. Because I was like, how did she? I don't know if you know her, but I'm like, how did she even lose? Like, who was even the other dude that she was running against? She's so fabulous, and she had so much support. I don't even see how she lost.
Right, and you look at the support right now for Trump. The rallies have not stopped.
Yeah.
The flag wavings are still going on. Beverly Hills is absolutely ablaze.
I know. That blew my mind.
And there's a lot of media being kicked out right now about positiveness of what's going on with Trump. But you know, when stuff is streamed, I believe that the NSA grabbed that stream. I believe that Donald J. Trump said, okay, well, they're going to cheat it. We need to let them rob the bank before we can't just say they were going to rob the bank.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got to let
And so I see my president staying up late at night because he only sleeps 4 hours a day anyway.
He does? How does he do that? He's crazy.
How do I have no
I don't want to do that.
You know, to tell libs.
Huh?
If there's any libs listening, if there's any liberals listening to us right now, in a future recording or whatever, I want you to know that when you're getting your 8 to 9 hours of blissful sleep, the president is getting 4 hours of sleep.
And he eats McDonald's. Like, he's not human,
that means
dude.
He's 4 hours ahead of you every day.
Dude,
while he's at 4 hours while you're sleeping, he's working.
And he eats junk food, and he's still
4
like
hour head start on you every day.
Yeah.
You're never gonna beat it. You're never gonna beat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And so, but yeah, I think he was watching it while it was streaming. The NSA was grabbing it, and that means they have the election before they started messing around with it.
Yeah.
That means they have it in its entirety.
Yeah.
That means that any time Trump can go, well, you know, my newly minted national security advisor has just handed me the election in perfect digital verifiable form, and this is actually how it went.
I'm like picturing him. You said that now. I'm like picturing him with a bucket of KFC just watching it. Be like,
Oh, it's a crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, laughing, giggling, wonderful company would be great too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, be encouraged because this thing ain't over. The U.S. Supreme Court has a case right now that they already said that they would rule on. Michigan is going to lose its, the Dominion software is going to find out that they lost all those votes. That's going to fall into that. Georgia is still not out of the woods yet. It's still, because they still have to audit some of these votes. And they just found another 3,000 votes. There's been 3 fines in Georgia so far of votes that all benefited Trump.
Yeah, I know.
So the big find is,
imagine that.
yeah, the big find is out there. The big find is out there. They're not done yet. Georgia's not done.
Yeah, they said it's probably going to take weeks for Georgia to finish the recount. They're like, Georgia's is all messed up. Yeah. How about Arizona? What do you know about Arizona and Nevada? What do you know about Arizona and Nevada?
Arizona? Arizona has to go to a recount. They had to certify that vote so it could be recounted and then looked at.
And then are they going to audit Arizona though? Because if they're just recounting all the they're going to audit and recount.
They're going to audit and recount it, and then also whistleblowers are coming forward all the time with affidavits. And so Rudy Giuliani, he didn't play all of his affidavit cards. He didn't come anywhere close to his affidavit. He has affidavits stacked like cordwood, okay, in every state. And so, yeah, no, his affidavit stack is quite significant. And the people that have signed these affidavits are significant as well. And they will be played like the aces in the hole they are. And so Arizona is what's going to happen because the original plan was Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia kept Trump within 1 state away from winning everything. He locked up North Carolina. They couldn't cheat there. You know how long it stood Trump ahead for 74,000 votes? It stood like that for day after day after day after day after day. It's because they couldn't figure out how to cheat North Carolina, so they finally had to give it to them. And now Pennsylvania is governed by the U.S. Supreme Court. That case is going to come down any day, which will give Pennsylvania to Trump. And Georgia is not out of the woods. It can very easily find the treasure trove of lost Trump ballots, which I'm sure are out there. And then we go right back to the original plan of Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and anything else.
And then I heard that because I heard that the Dominion software that they're actually going to check in 29 states. So I really feel like that he actually had more support in California too. Than I would love to see. I would love to see California turn red. I would flip my shit.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the things going on at Beverly Hills? I want to go to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I was born and raised in. I was born and raised in LA, so I know the area. So I know like all the streets that were running down Rodeo, and I was like, oh my god, I saw. Yeah, that blew my mind. That's like the most, and West Hollywood, like those are the most liberal areas ever. Like, oh yeah. So to see them have like huge parades like that, I was like, no. And even in San Diego, Huntington Beach, my friend lives in Oak Park, which is like an hour north or so off the 101 in from LA, and she was saying that they were huge. She was like, I've never seen anything like it. There's so many like Trump flags and sports, so everything. So I'm kind of wondering, I feel like California, and they called California like really fast. It's 7:00. Oh, California's blue. I was like, really? For real?
It's Here's how they're set up. It's how California's set up. They got that jungle primary, which is the biggest robbing, crooking, stupid thing in the world.
And then they have
It's
Tyrant
no wonder
Newsom.
Republicans can't-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Newsom, the
it's no wonder
tyrant.
Republicans can't get in there. That's a crooked system. But you want more? You want a conspiracy one?
Yeah, who are you talking to? Yeah, of course.
Do you know who? Where's he at here? He's right. Do you know who Vincent Fusca is?
Oh,
You
is
know
that
who
is
Vincent-
supposed to be JFK Jr.?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
I've heard that.
He was interviewed. I watched the interview of him
What?
by Jess Weber.
There's an interview of
Jess
him?
Weber yes. There's an interview of Jess Weber of Webster Way. He's a YouTuber. He interviewed Vincent Fusca at one of those Beverly Hills things. And they're talking, they're going back and forth a little bit. And then Jess goes, hey, I got to ask you, people say, they've seen you at Trump rallies and they say that you're JFK. Is there any truth to that? And the dude totally changed the subject and went on to something else.
Oh, that's so funny. If he's alive, I would have a seizure. I've heard that. I mean, I don't really talk about stuff that I can't prove, but I mean, I try and be open. But I would I would flip I would just be like, I think everybody would. Like, I would cry. I would cry.
Find out who you've been talking to on Q.
Man.
You want to?
Oh,
I'm telling you, I want to bring your life. You're a great gal, and you have a great show. So I'm dropping some bombs on your show here. Right. If I turn out to be right, we're going to get real popular.
Okay.
But you know who Q is?
X-22 report.
JFK.
Oh.
No.
I've heard that. I hear a lot of stuff though. You're going,
right. That's exactly who it is. And that's what it says. So you're going to be amazed when you find out who we've been speaking to. And there's all sorts of good little hints of why JFK is Q. And, oh man, fiction is stranger than truth right now. Or truth is stranger than fiction, actually. Truth is stranger than fiction right now. I mean,
yeah, I know.
With every, the cheating, I mean, hundreds of thousands of votes coming in the middle of the night. All the elections stopping simultaneously in the places where Trump lost his huge leads. None of this stuff is believable. I mean, nobody's it puts every conspiracy theory right on the table.
I know. Do you feel kind of vindicated? But have you, you seem like you've probably been hip to a lot of this stuff for a while, and a lot of the stuff that's going on. I'm sure you feel vindicated with some of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Every day goes by, something else that was a conspiracy theory before is fact today. Yeah. And and I know that we're going to win. I know that we've already won. I know that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to pass that, is going to vote against the state Supreme Court. I know that Georgia there's more ballots to be found. I know that the Dominion voting machines are going to be audited, and because the Dominion voting machines, the hardware is not terribly sophisticated, and the software was not terribly sophisticated either. And to get that to stream over to Germany, they had to use a main streaming stream, which everybody has access to. And so this president is literally giving them enough rope. He's just giving them enough rope. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to go to the Congress. I like the 19 to 31 thing, but what I don't like is Nancy Pelosi being in charge of anything. I don't want her near nothing. I know. Nothing. I don't want her near nothing. So I don't think this is going to go there. I think that the Pennsylvania is going to have to go to Trump because the U.S. Supreme Court is going to rule. I think Georgia is going to turn, which will put Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania all in that block, and then Nevada can turn, Michigan can turn, Wisconsin can turn, or Arizona can turn. Any of those four can turn as long as that group of Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia stay together. And once Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, once that three is lined up, this election's over. I mean, it's over. Trump won. And then when Trump comes in with the real numbers that he picked up the stream that got streamed to Germany, and we all know the truth.
Yeah.
The
it's
people
gonna
in
be
the
great.
people in Germany. Oh, how about the guys in Michigan? Michigan is firmly in the hands of Trump right now. I forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Michigan is firmly in the hands of Trump. Okay, you know those 4 Michigan electors in the county in Detroit where 2 of them were Democrats, 2 of them were Republicans. 2 of them voted, the 2 Democrats voted to certify the election, the 2 Republicans voted to not certify the election, which they had good reason to not certify. It was shenanigans central. And so right after they did that, the 2 Republicans got threatened badly, and their children's school got doxxed.
Oh, wow,
Okay.
yeah.
So they decided to change their minds. They changed their minds and put out a statement that said, oh, we're going to go ahead and vote for this. Well, then hours later, or I think it was maybe even the very next day at 8 o'clock in the morning, they put out another statement and showed their affidavits that said they were absolutely not voting to certify this election. And here's something in affidavit form saying so.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason that we said that we weren't going to is because our families were in threat.
So they probably
and
got
we had to
protection.
appear.
They probably got protection, I'm thinking.
Oh, baby, did they get protection.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they threatened their kids.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I don't even know if I would, do something if my kids were threatened or people I love were threatened, Of course,
And What if the people that there's 2 guys who threatened the 2 Republicans' kids. Okay, so the 2 guys who threatened them, what if the investigating NSA agents and the investigating FBI agents were moms? What if the investigating agents and the NSA agents had children about that age?
Yeah.
How vigorous do you think those special agents would pursue those 2 people that threatened children?
Oh, for sure. I mean, even I love kids and stuff.
Those
I wouldn't be like.
Those 2 people that threatened those kids have not given another statement, nor have they tweeted.
Yeah.
And they won't.
Yeah.
And they won't either. You're not going to hear another word out of them.
Yeah.
And so now that the 2 guys, the 2 Republicans in Michigan, have put out that affidavit saying we are absolutely not voting to certify this election. And if it goes past the deadline, which it will, then all of those votes in Detroit are not going to be counted towards Michigan, and Trump's going to win Michigan by a landslide.
Yeah.
Okay? Trump has firmly grasped on Michigan. Firmly. But you should go to Webster Way and look at that Vincent Fusca interview.
Could you,
he's holding a book. He's holding a book that says Trump. There's so much code in it. There's so much cloak and dagger in it that you almost have to just break it down frame by frame and look at what's in the background. And it's very secret agency. It's just got secret agent oosh all over it.
Where is it? Where's the interview?
It's on a YouTube channel called W-E-B as in boy, E-R-Z as in zebra.
E-E-R? Weber?
Yeah, E-R, yeah, Weber's and the Z, E-R-Z as in zebra. Webster Way, W-A-Y.
Let me see if I
And
can
it was on November 19th.
Okay.
And the thing was only a minute long. And so it's quite, I just love it. And there's so much, it's only a minute and 6 seconds, but there's so much going on in this video that it just, if you have a discerning eye like you do, and like you and I do, we're going to find all kinds of stuff in this video, in this 1 minute video. So.
Webster Way. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Paint the Trump is another good one too. Paint the Trump is great. And then if you can stand the language, Salty Cracker. Salty Cracker,
okay.
Please don't. That guy, if you can handle his language, he has got some really pointed information, and he almost like he's got some inside baseball.
Okay.
He really displays it in a colorful way, very colorful way, and not racist at all. He's not racist at all. But he has these very pointed little facts that he weaves in through his theatrics that it's really a good watch. There's a lot of encouragement. Dr. James Turley, I mean,
Yeah, I like
he's
him,
awesome.
There's
Yeah,
so many.
he's
There's
great.
so many
And
good
so-
people,
And wait till
yeah.
YouTube can't put the thumb on the scale anymore. Can you imagine how much money you'd make if YouTube wasn't putting the thumb on the scale? And
Yeah,
it was
I'd
just
actually make
whoever
some
was
money
interesting?
because I've been demonetized. I can't do super
Right.
chats.
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
Yeah,
so I'm not even making money doing
Yeah.
it.
So right. So if you can
PayPal me, you
do
guys.
super chats or donations to my home girl here, those all who are listening in the
I can't. Yeah, I
future
can't even
today,
do super
she does-
chats. Yeah.
She does an incredible service for our country, and this takes all kinds of her time that she could more be doing something else. So for her service, please donate if you can donate.
All right. Thank you.
No.
All right.
All right, well, I'm about done. I don't want to take up your whole night because I know you probably must have a zillion callers wanting to call, but be encouraged. Be encouraged. We've won this thing. The fight's over. We're in victory mode. I run around with my Trump mask on. Nobody's ever said boo to me. Nobody.
You're like, at least he has his mask on.
Oh, well, I'm 6'3" and 230, so that might have something to do with it, too. I look like the kind of guy that might knife you. So that might be another reason why people don't give me shit for my Trump stuff.
Yeah.
But in any event, we're winning. We've won. This is a done deal. It's just formalities. In the infamous words of our wonderful president, it's a complicated business.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Joe. Thank you so much.
All right. Be blessed. Bye.
Bye-bye. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. So I was saying I consider anybody that's fighting for this country a patriot as a white hat. And I know people get triggered by that word, but it really pisses me off when people are like, oh, well, if you believe in organized evil, and you're not going to believe in organized good, then, I mean, what, you just think that there's just evil everywhere and there's never, ever going to be good. There's never people fighting for good. You can tell by the war that we're in. If we're in a war, there are two sides. One side doesn't want a communist country and the other side doesn't. So this war with the white hats or the good guys is taking place in the governments, in the police departments, in the FBI, and with lawyers. They're good lawyers and bad lawyers. They're, they're people that were, were for the election steal and that were complicit in cheating. And then there were people that found that out and that came forward because they don't want to live in a communist country. To me, that's like, those are white hats, I don't think they go around being like calling themselves white hats, but there's organized, I think there's organized people that are good and they're fighting for good. If not, then we would have been done a long time ago. We would have done like a while ago. So like Hillary would have won, but if that was the case. Right? And we'd be all in FEMA camps by now. Hey, David, what's going on? 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. So, whose liberal tears are you going to harvest when this thing turns around? I want to see Rachel Maddow cry again. I want to see her cry like big tears this time. I'm just gonna tune in like the next day and just watch all the media talking heads like flip out. It's gonna be great, right? I didn't watch the Trump press conference today. Did he talk about drugs or did he talk about the election stuff too? I'm really frustrated with people that really want to be real journalists and they have the chance to ask really good questions to some of these people. This is what's going on is historic. and they're basically just attacking them. And even if I had a chance to interview Joe Biden, I wouldn't just attack him. I would still, I would ask him questions to really see what he thinks about stuff. Probably the more truthful I am, though, he would probably incriminate himself and make himself look stupid. But I wouldn't like just throw my questions away on somebody that big. And I saw that Giuliani, I forgot who it was, and they interviewed Giuliani, and the guy's just basically mocking him and just talking down to him the whole interview. And I thought, when I watched the interview, I thought it was just me that thought this guy was completely disrespectful. But I looked at the whole comment section, and I think this was more of a right-leaning newspaper too. It wasn't, or maybe they were like centrist or whatever. I forgot what it was, but but this guy he was terrible. He was awful. And I'm like, I wonder if Giuliani like cursed him out when the cameras were off, because you know, he got cursed out, then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. He was a total idiot. He was a terrible reporter. Like, good reporters aren't really supposed, I mean, you can't say that people don't have bias because we're human, but when you're a reporter, you're just supposed to get the facts and ask people factual stuff and then let the audience make up their mind. One thing I hate about the mainstream media is that they're telling us stuff with intent to try and sway us. And even in journalism, you're not supposed to do that. There's specific language that you're supposed to use and specific language that you're not supposed to use, because it is known that certain inflammatory language and certain language can be used to incite certain emotions in people. Like you say, like, you know, for instance, you know, even when they're talking about this election, they're saying, this reporter, you know, supports unsubstantiated, you know, conspiratorial views. Well, why can't they just talk about the views itself instead of adding those inflammatory words such as unbiased and unsubstantiated, when there is actually evidence too? They're hiding evidence. And when I watched that press conference the other day, Giuliani was saying that the way that the media was treating this was basically as bad as the crime itself. And I would agree. And it sucks because even though, you know, they're very leftist leaning, I still think people should have the right to the information and then make up their minds. I've always been like that. I've always been like, let the people know at least, you know, all sides, and then let them make up their mind. Don't tell them what to think. Even, you know, when they're cutting people off and saying, oh, well, I just can't let her go on because, you know, it's just so unsubstantiated and so conspiratorial. Well, let us determine that. You're not my fucking father, my dad, my mommy. You know, you're not. It's like, you know, it reminds me, you know, my parents are very controlling over what I used to watch on TV. I understand as a kid, but that would drive me crazy. And I just would be like, well, let me determine whether, but it's a little different, I think, with kids, because their minds are their subconscious is very susceptible. And I think you do have to watch children and watch what they hear and, you know, have dominion over that. But no pun intended, but, you know, as an adult, I feel like I have the clarity and then discernment to make up my own mind without other people trying to tell me. I'm not fucking 5 years old, okay? 512-481-7464. Okay, well, I feel like I should start later. I get more callers back to back. But I usually get up early, so I try and go to bed. I'll wait till 8. If I don't get any calls till 8, then I'll just stop. You guys can talk to me in the chat, though. I'm super open. I slept in today, though. I wasn't feeling well. $230. So Dominion. So this one person, Anthony Chacon. Chacon? Is it Chacon? Is that Italian, Anthony, or is that like Latin, like Mexican, or not Latin, but like a Latin American, Spanish descent? So he says Dominion has 230 employees. out of which 109 have just dissolved into thin air, moving to other places overnight. Dang, that's almost half of them. They just bounced. Dang. Well, where are they going to run to? I mean, File 124817464. Smart Malik villains villain controlled. 512-481-7464. It's at the top of the chat. Can you see it? Can you guys see it? All right, here's hello. Good evening.
Hi, this is Megan Da.
Oh, wow, girl. Hey, I know. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to hear you. Your voice. I know you sound like you.
I'm from New Jersey.
Megan, are you Chinese?
No, I'm actually of Haitian descent, and I just never.
Because Da is like it sounds kind of Chinese.
I just never put in my full last name.
Oh, okay,
I was
okay.
just being lazy.
Okay, cool. Well, good. Oh, you know, my mom's side is my great grandfather's Haitian, so I would really like to learn more about that side, my ancestry. So yeah, so we're practically sisters. Wow. Yeah, I just don't know a lot about Haiti and stuff, but I know I got some Haitian in me. So yeah,
that's cool. I mean, I've never been to Haiti. I've always wanted to go, and I've never gone, but I do speak Creole, like I'm fluent.
Oh, what? That's dope, dude. That's awesome. That's really cool. So what do you want to talk about?
I really am excited about President Trump. Like, I've never felt inspired as much as I do with him, and I really hope he wins. Like, and I don't really feel any fear about all of the stuff that's happening anymore.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting? I don't either, and I feel like this is one of the first times in my life that I've felt so much clarity and felt so calm. I can't explain it. I've never had this feeling before, like ever. Because I'm usually, you know, when I was younger, I used to worry a lot, and she's like, "Oh my God," blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, "We got this." I don't know why. Now, I don't think I'm wrong, but you know, I know that I'm not delusional. I know, you know, it ain't over till it's over, but it ain't over. So.
Right, and it's just weird to see how uninformed like most people are, and they don't really want to be informed.
Yeah. Because
most of the time they just either shut the conversation down or they're just like, oh, but this is what it says. Like, I remember the day after the election, I was talking to my boyfriend and one of his friends, and his friend is like a Trump supporter, and he's like, yo, like he was so upset the night after the election, and then the next day, I guess he was starting to see some of the stuff that was coming out, and he's like, we got this.
Yeah, we got it. We got all of it, you know.
And then my boyfriend's just looking at me like, just accept it, he lost. And I'm like, all right, like I'm not even like, I don't even like try to talk to him about it anymore. Like, I'm just like, I just want everything to come out and then like just be right.
You know what's funny, Megan, though? It's like I love my train of thought. I was gonna I feel like a lot of people that are anti-Trump are still more like on edge than we are. Because I still have people texting me, like my cousin was texting me and my uncle was texting me. And I'm just like, and then one of my friends was texting me. I was like, I'm not even trying to push my ideals down your throat. Like, why are you still like throwing stuff in my face? I'm not bothering you. I can understand if I was, but they're the ones that are still just been like, well, he lost, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not, you know, saying anything about it. Why are you so eager to like tell me how much he lost unless you're really not sure, you know?
Right. I think to a degree, it's just a manifestation of that person's like insecurity.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you really believe in something, then there's no reason for you to like try to force it down someone else's throat.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that you are right and you don't feel like any conflict with yourself.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. How is your family lean, if you don't mind me asking? Like your parents or your relatives and stuff. What do they think?
Okay, so like I know my brother sees most things the way that I see it. And my mother, she likes Trump because this is the best year. Like 2019 was her best year in business. It was her best year ever. And so she really likes him, but I know she's still very nervous about the whole virus situation.
Okay.
And I know for like the people around me, like the people who are my age, regardless of whether or not they are a Trump supporter or a liberal, they are not as afraid of the virus. Like they're not like I don't really know people who are like my age who are actually taking it seriously. Like our parents are like super freaked out. Like it was worse when the during the first shutdown. Like I remember I had a conversation. I was on the phone with my childhood best friend, and it was a night where I don't know if her mom like got like one of those chain messages or if she had a conversation with someone on the phone. Like she was like so freaked out one night that she just randomly started locking her door and she put a broom behind the door and she was on the phone with me like, "What are you doing with the broom, Mom?" And it was like, our parents are freaked out. Like my mom is like still scared. My grandfather, he was sick. Like at some point we all had like I guess like some sort of cold. It was really bad. My grandparents tested positive and he lost his brother. And so like with him, it's so bad that he doesn't like let anyone into his space anymore. Like he doesn't do hugs or kisses anymore. He's just like, I don't want to get sick again. So
that like breaks my heart.
It breaks my heart too because with like when he was treated, I think they gave him like hydrochloroquine with the zinc and some antibiotic, and it was bad, but like I just like I'm seeing how he's reacting like after everything happened and how scared he still is.
Yeah.
And it's like
does he have any other illnesses like comorbidities like diabetes or
no, he didn't. Like it was weird because my grandmother does, but my grandfather doesn't have any other underlying conditions, but it affected him worse than it affected my grandmother. But
does he smoke or so he had like a chest infection?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
And I know his brother had diabetes, so he died. And it was like it definitely did take a toll on the family, like, and so it's just something that it was very hard to get through because it was this was all around like I think May.
Okay.
April, May, around that time. So it was like when everything was still pretty like new and no one really knew what was going on. But for the most part, we pretty much like started eating better and trying to build up our immune system. And I don't, and it's like, it's scary because, I guess New Jersey, like, there was a lot of like weird things happening around that time, especially around the area that I lived. So most of the people who died around that time, everyone just assumed that they had the virus.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't really know all the details in New Jersey. And from what I've heard from other people too, like something weird went down in New Jersey, not just like the virus.
Right.
And I wonder if it was something, in the environment or something, you know what I mean? In addition to, what they were telling us was going on. I don't know. I'm hoping in the future we'll know something,
Right. I like, honestly, it could have been that too. I just don't know, like, cause I know my mom was saying that there were a lot of taxi drivers who died, and it was like, it was just weird because it was like, okay, you guys are saying that they had the virus, but like, as far as we know, none of them were tested or anything.
Yeah,
and I mean,
but
I do know
taxi
like all of
drivers.
that stuff about the test being inaccurate too. So it's just a mess in terms of all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there were certain places in New York and New Jersey, out of all the reports and people that I spoke to and other things that I watched when this first happened, like around New Jersey and New York area, I'm looking at a map that's I'm looking up. Those are the only places where I heard like where they were actually overwhelmed. But everywhere else in the country, I heard the hospitals were empty. But something I'm not denying something went down in specific areas in New York and New Jersey, because I did hear that. But like, what was it? Because I don't think it was a virus, because if it was a virus and it was affecting people on that scale, then it would have spread throughout the country. I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know.
I don't know either, because when I was like feeling under the weather, I went to my mom's house for like that whole month. I stopped working so that I could get myself together. But when I came back, because my housemate, he works at a hospital, and he was saying that they have like 109 COVID cases at his hospital, but he does security, so he doesn't like he didn't have to interact with them. But like, even like, I had to get tested before coming back to work, so I would say that was maybe end of April. And when I went to get tested, there was barely anyone in the hospital waiting room, and there was barely anyone in the there to get tested too. Like, the lines weren't as crazy as we were being told that they were in the hospitals. Yeah. Didn't seem to be as packed as we were told that they were. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, go on.
There were also a few testing sites near, like, between my mom's house and my place, and we would drive by them, and it wasn't that as bad in, I would say, end of April, early May. Like, it wasn't as bad. Like, there weren't lines, and I don't feel like I don't know if people are being tested as crazily as we're being told that these numbers and cases are rising.
Well, the thing is too, the tests give false positives. Like, I'm on Parler now, and I just found a video with this doctor I follow named Dr. Cohen, and I had a friend that actually was a journalist, and he was a medical journalist, and he did like research on the PCR test, because they use this test for other tests, not just the coronavirus. And it gives false positives. So, and then you have the president of Tanzania that, he swabbed like a pawpaw fruit and some motor oil and a goat. And
I don't remember hearing that story.
yeah, I had
I
the
remember
video.
hearing that story. I was hearing that story, and I was also looking into a lot of the stuff that was going on in Africa during that time. And I'm like, a lot of these countries were coming up with all types of like medicines, and like there was one country that came up with this juice, I think it was.
Yeah, it was I think it was Madagascar.
Right.
Yeah, Madagascar, because and then of course they always make, you know, the indigenous, the brown people, like, oh, they're just savages. It's just witchcraft. They don't know what they're talking about. They always try to paint them as backwards.
I know, like the WHO didn't come down when they released juice or whatever. Like they didn't even come down and see what they were doing or what type of medication they came up with. And I know that a couple weeks ago I saw an article saying that they were withdrawn from the WHO.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm hoping a lot of this will come out. I mean, it just breaks my heart is to see the people that are really in fear and they won't hug anymore. It's like they're so afraid of dying, they're not going to even live, you know? Like hugs are good for the immune system. They're good for you. It's good to be around people. It actually lowers your immune system when you're in fear, and it makes you more susceptible to getting sick. It's not healthy psychologically, physically, for people to be in fear like this, you know?
And yeah, the fear also contributes very much to like bringing down your immune system and being sick.
Yeah, for sure. It does. It does. Anyway. Oh, what?
I'm like, for me, it's like, it's very important to be like in touch with your spiritual side and like meditate and try to release a lot of that negative energy, because it's like that fear is more, to me, is more crippling than the virus itself or any type of sickness.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, your mentality, your spiritual life, for sure. You know, I definitely believe. I'm listening and I'm going back and forth. Somebody just wrote, "Oh my God, I ate a papaya yesterday, so it could be infected." You're silly. Hey, Megan, let me get this next caller though. Is that okay? Thanks so much for calling.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Okay. Good night. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. This is a first-time caller. My name is Anthony.
Hey, Anthony. What's your name? Oh, Anthony. I just.
Yes.
How are you? Okay.
Good. I'm just trying to call and give my perspective as a Hispanic Venezuelan.
Oh, wait, you're from Venezuela? Your family's from Venezuela?
No, I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, shit. Give us a skinny. Oh, my mom's from Tampa. You live in Tampa right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, tell me.
Yeah, I have family that fled Venezuela. They went to Peru. There's like a whole exodus, you know, from neighbors, family members. Like we just see that it's a repetition. A lot of stuff like the media. Like the government first started with the media, and now, you know, the media has been against the president, against patriotism, for globalism, and you can kind of see this happening, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a trend. It's so obvious. It's just a copy of what happened in Venezuela and what they're trying to do with globalism.
I'm curious though, like what was it like before the communist takeover? Were there people that were actually sold on communism? Was your country split like it is now, where there were people that saw it and they were like, no, and that like do you?
There was actually, like with Maduro, the newest, there was a lot of fraud too, and that's another one. That's another one that's so obvious that, you know, fraud. Like, no, everybody in Venezuela knows that Maduro has won twice with fraud. It's not even a secret.
So when you had
But
Hugo Chavez was before Maduro, right?
Yeah, Chavez was before Maduro.
So is that when like the communist kind of ideology started?
Yeah, with Chavez.
Okay, so but I mean, like, were you old enough to remember? I'm just curious. Was it like, were there a lot of people in your country that were sold on the idea? Like, we have a lot of young people that are really sold in the idea of communism.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not that old, but I would say based on what I've seen, I would say yeah, they were sold on it, and they were also like they were sold on the idea because Venezuela used to be so rich, so that also, I don't know really, but it was sold on it, the idea of communism, socialism.
Man, it seems crazy because I know you guys had oil reserves and everything, and I mean that's a way to like bring down. It seems like this communist formula is a way to bring down a country.
Exactly, it's a way to bring down. I would say probably patriotism. I didn't even realize it, but it's about taking away the person's identity, taking away like Venezuela with giving so much money to Cuba. It's like taking away the person's own love for their own country, probably I could say.
You know what it is? Like, Anthony, I like compare it to like, like just like if you look at a country as a person, and it's like, if you demoralize a person, you get them to hate themselves, and they'll do stuff to themselves, like they'll cut themselves or they'll hurt themselves or they'll like drink and drive or, they'll do something like that. And if you can get a whole country to have that mentality, then it will destroy itself. But then the patriotism to me is like the self-love, right? And then you know how they say you can't find true love until you love yourself, Yeah,
they also say if you don't love your country, you don't love your mother.
Oh, yeah, wow, yeah, it's like that. Yeah, for real. Because this is like, I think people have this fantasy of like, what am I trying to say? They have this fantasy of like, open borders and we are one and stuff. But we can't really get to that point until we have love for our own country first. Until we got to take care of the people in our own house first,
Exactly. And the reason that other countries are in a bad situation is because people in that country are actually bad people. They're not good people. They're not morally good. They're not responsible people. They're irresponsible. So it shows like they're not in a poor situation because like magic,
Yeah.
And if Mexico, for example, if you bring the border up, Mexico is not in a good situation, not because magic and stuff. It's because like the culture maybe is not the best compared to the American culture.
Yeah.
Everybody's not the same, and that's not a problem. I mean, that's not that you're racist, you're a Nazi. It's stupid.
Well, no,
it's really. And the thing is that I work with kids. I'm a bus driver for the school, and like I always hear these kids like, "Oh, F Trump," and "Oh, Biden." Like they were following, "Yeah, I hope Biden wins." And I'm like, these kids have no idea. But you're not gonna teach these high schoolers, middle schoolers anything because it's a waste of time. It depends on their parents.
Yeah, so, and it's like yeah, it's crazy though because it's like too like I know that I have some some of my friends' kids who are I consider them like my nieces and nephews. They voted for Biden and stuff, and they're around the age. Some are in high school and some are middle school. I mean, they didn't. Sorry, not the middle schoolers, but they're like 18 or 19. Voted for Biden, and it's just like I was young and idealistic too. I don't really fault them for that, and I know there's also not only like the parents, but it's also the brainwashing in the schools, man. It's so I was a teacher, so. It really leans very communist, very leftist ideology. It doesn't leave any room for any other ideologies other than that. So these kids, I
That's
feel bad
true.
for these kids, man. It's like really they don't have a choice. And then even if you do have a parent that's like, you know, maybe right-leaning or open or centrist or libertarian or something other than what they're being taught in school, parents, you know, are working so hard. And these, you know, the schools have the kids' minds for like 8 hours a day, you know, 5 days a week, 3 months out of the year.
Yeah,
So it's like these
just,
kids don't even,
like
they
in
don't have a chance,
Venezuela,
you know?
they bought the media, they bought the schools, it's just indoctrination.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't even believe in it, but they rather just go with the flow versus go against diversity.
So I'm going to ask you, before you fled, what were your thoughts on communism and stuff?
Oh, I would just like, just get out of here. And good thing I left a long time ago.
No, but I mean before, were you too young and stuff too? Was there a guy that wasn't communist that was running against Maduro?
Yeah, this guy, he went to prison. I forgot his name. He was in prison. I forgot his name now. But yeah, he was going against Maduro. He went to prison. A lot of stuff happened, and it was all like a fraud, you know.
Wait. So did the people like this guy?
The people don't like Maduro. Nobody talks good about Maduro.
Oh, okay. So it was like
I can imagine if Biden ends up winning. He will be the next Maduro. He will be like the next person that nobody likes and everybody knows he's illegitimate, but you know, they just gotta go with it or something.
So like so the guy that was running against Maduro, was he like, did people liked him?
Yeah, people liked him.
So did he go to prison and like reform his life, or after Maduro won they sent him to prison?
No, after.
What? Oh, that's creepy. Mm-hmm. That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they took over. Oh, wow, that's scary. So
but it's different in the United States. There's a lot of stuff. It's not like Venezuela, obviously, but a lot of stuff is similar. You can see.
Could you tell what was going on with the elections when it was happening, when they stopped the count?
No, it's nothing about stopping the count. It was just frauds from the beginning, you know. It was just the people from the Chavez already like were counting the votes, and they were in control of everything, you know. Yeah, it's the same.
Wow, dude. So this must be really freaking you out, because you know I've had friends from the Czech Republic, from Romania, from Russia, you know, throughout my years, and they would tell me, you know, stories, and you know, they come to America to flee places like that. So I think about people that come fleeing communism and you know, just horrible dictatorships, and then they come to America and they see this repeated over again. It must be really freaky, you know. Because then it's like, where are you going to go?
It's different now because I think big tech has a lot to do with it, and big pharma, like indoctrination. It all has to do with it, and I think big tech is the game changer that really just put things into motion for left. You know, like big tech has so much power. And so whatever they say, it's majority of what people will lean to.
Jeez.
So yeah, but I've seen Giuliani's press conference, and I think they got this under the bag. It's just a matter of time, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I do too. I just like, dude,
You just gotta be patient.
Yeah, I know. There's only so much we can do right now. We just have to sit back and like, you know, we have to watch and pray and hope, you know, whatever we can do from the sidelines.
Yeah, it's still going to be hard. Even though they have all these limits, it's still going to be hard.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be really hard.
We need to get through this, and we need to get through the coming riots afterwards. Because you know these people.
Yeah, it's like out. In my head, I'm like, please, like my girlfriend, like, oh, she's like she's religious. I'm not that religious, but she's she tried to fast sometimes and like, oh, pray to God for Trump to win. But yeah, I'm like, I just gotta give it some time, a month. You know, it takes a while.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like yesterday, like I was feeling kind of down, but then yesterday I saw Juliana's press conference. That really like it like revived me on the situation with the elections.
Oh, but that's good. That's what I'm trying to like impose, and I'm trying to do more lives and stuff just on the people that listen, because it's like they're also I believe, I know you say you're not religious or anything, but I believe this is, in addition to a physical, psychological war, is also a spiritual war. And one of the main, besides like trying to control the information, I feel like the mainstream media is also trying to demoralize people. So I kind of check in with mainstream media a little bit, but I don't spend time seeing what they're going to say. A, it just makes me angry. And B, it's like, if you understand how the subconscious works, even if you know that they're liars and even if you know their motives, if you stay listening to that stuff subconsciously, is going to bring you down. So I'm always just actively looking for leads and progress in the cases that are happening, you know, to not only inform myself, but to give myself hope, because they want you to be demoralized. Because, you know, knock on wood, if they do get away with this, which they won't, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if they were to, it's going to demoralize a lot of people, because even though they know that they have so much support behind the president, they're going to still believe that there's nothing they can do. And then the next election, most people won't even care about voting, because they're just going to be like, well, why should I vote if they're just gonna, you know, put
exactly. That's the situation in Venezuela. And the thing is, my girlfriend, she's black, so like I give her hope, but then she talks to her family members, and all her family members are like, you know, just one mentality, and then they bring her down, and then I show her, look at this video, look what's happening, look at this evidence, and she goes up again. So it's it's like that's how, like, it's because I'm there to show her, and I'm not even like, don't listen to me, look at this. And but you know, the family members, like everybody in the family is like, oh, like they voted for Biden, they're Democrat, and they're all like, oh, Trump is a racist.
Oh God.
So
are you so bored with those people?
Yeah.
Aren't you bored? I'm fucking bored with those people. I'm so bored. You know, it's like,
yeah,
how can you just like
I
think
don't
for yourself?
understand why they want to live like racism is that important in your life, really?
Yeah,
is
right.
that
like
all
that,
in life? That racism?
Exactly, right. Like if that's the only bad thing that happens to your life, and they're just like, they're gonna like turn the dusk if they experience racism. Like, wow, like not while at the same time.
In Spanish, there's a saying that I'm not a golden coin for everybody to love. You know, nobody's a golden coin. There's in your life, you're always gonna run into people, run into situations where they don't like you, or they don't like your accent, or they don't like the way you look, or whatever. It doesn't mean that the world is racist. It's just that you're not the princess of the world, or you're not the prince of the world.
I love that.
Everybody hates everybody.
Yeah,
that's the situation.
Yeah, I mean, like that. It's life, right? Everybody's gonna go through adversity, you know.
But the thing is, with Black people, I see that they've indoctrinated to the point where like they have to handpick every situation that they run into life to say that it's racist, and that's just not the case. Just people just being people.
And maybe and you know, a lot of people too, I notice, and Anthony, I feel like in my experience, a lot of people too that are always complaining about racism, no matter what race they are the first ones to be discriminatory against someone else. I swear, it just never seems to fail. You're right.
Yeah, like I work with kids, and every time the first thing that they have a encounter with somebody that's Hispanic or something is white, they're like, oh, everything. It's always like, oh, it's because I'm Black. Oh, it's, you know, it's like,
yeah, maybe it's because you're an asshole. Have you thought about that? Like, you know, maybe
it's like so you talk. I understand it.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't pass this test because I'm Black. No, it's because you didn't study. You know what I mean?
No, it's like they get into confrontations. You know, as kids, kids always insult each other for anything.
Yeah.
That's all they do every day. Insult each other, tease each other, you know, bring each other down. That's like, it's not because that's just being kids.
Yeah, I know that's part of it too. But you're so right about the indoctrination, you know, and it's so deep, and it's just like, you know, I feel another reason I have hope too, because these past 4 years I've seen a lot of people, Black people in particular, since we're on that, make an effort to try and break this indoctrination. And then there's sometimes I'm just like, are we ever really going to fully get out of this? Because it's our mentality that's enslaving us. And I see, you know, through school and then through music and media, and, you know, you even have people like LeBron James saying, oh my God, I was called the N-word and my life is over. I'm like, but you're a God, you're God to most people.
Yeah, like Latin America, there's a lot of Black, African, Latin Americans, and everybody's already over the whole, you know, the Spaniards brought them, and because the school system is not like that. It's not like, oh, this and that. It's like, but here you're in probably the best, one of the top 5 countries in the world, and you're complaining about being brought over here, or what happened.
They weren't even like, it wasn't even like the people that complain about that stuff too. They weren't even brought over here. They didn't even go through.
Yeah.
They didn't even go through Jim Crow. They didn't go through Jim Crow. And you know, my mom went through Jim Crow, and my dad, he lived in Colorado, so they didn't have Jim Crow in Colorado, but he experienced a lot of racism. But at the same time, he was never like a bitter Black dude. It was like, oh, my life, like, hurts the day. You don't know how much it hurts to be Black. Like, they never were like that. Never.
Like, Hispanic Black people that live in Latin America aren't like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like everybody just like, oh, we're in the same boat, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't think we're all in the same boat, but we're in the same country and we're the same flag, and that's what counts.
Yeah,
nobody
dude.
Like to, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, and you know, it's like my one of my best friends, his family is from Honduras. And he doesn't think like that. I don't think his parents think like that, but I think his brother kind of has this victim mentality. But he was brought up in the States, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, yeah, and now that you mention that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Like, you know, and they're like Latin Blacks, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It really is indoctrination.
But I kind of see that Latin Black, anybody that's been born in Latin America, you know, is more adversity than being born here. So you kind of, like, even Latin Black people have more reason to be like victims, I guess.
Yeah, but they realize
people that are born here, like, you get so many good things than being born in like top country, one of the top countries in the world.
Even the poor people here are rich.
It's complicated.
Yeah, no, even the poor people here are rich, though. You know, the poor people in America are rich compared to other poor people.
Yeah, in Latin America, there is no welfare, Section 8, you know, free transportation, free school buses, none of that.
Cell phones,
figure out how to get to school every morning. You gotta buy your own. You gotta buy your own food every morning or every lunch. Like here, you get free lunch, free transportation, welfare if you need it, Section 8 if you need it. Like, you know, there's so much.
Dang, dude, that's really deep. Well, thanks, Anthony. Did you want to say anything else? I'm gonna try and take another caller. I'm taking like one more caller before I get off.
Oh no, that's all. Appreciate talking to you.
You too, man. It was such a great call. I really appreciate you calling. Thank you for giving us that perspective. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're gonna get through this. We got this, man. We got this, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait. Be patient.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right. I think I'm gonna take one more caller. One more caller. One more caller. Hello. All right. 512-481-7464. Anybody want to ask me? I got 6 minutes. Somebody calls in 6 minutes. I'm a bounce. Do she have legs? Is that me? You're talking to me? Do I have legs? Maybe. Maybe I have legs. Maybe I don't. What if I had like 3 legs? You guys would never know. You guys would never know. All right. Anybody want to ask me anything in the where are you off to? I'm off to bed. What are you talking about? I'm off to bed. I gotta get up early. I gotta do laundry tomorrow. I gotta drive. I gotta go. I go to the laundromat. I just do laundry because the machines at my place are always broke. They never wash my clothes. The machines always break. I get tired of it. I was like, I'm gonna just go to the laundromat. They always take my money, or the knobs are broken off the machines, or like I'll wash clothes and then it won't spin directly, so all my clothes are soaking wet and I have to wring them out and then rewash them again. So I just make a day out of it. Usually I'll go do laundry and then I'll like go shopping while they're in the dryer, get my groceries together. It's only 7:30. I haven't finished eating though either. It's only 7:30. Where are you at? Yeah, I get up early. I'm usually up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock though. So I try and get to bed pretty early. But I need to like sleep 4 hours like Trump. That sounds dope. Like how does he do it? 4 hours of sleep. That's crazy. How does he, and he's like he eats so much junk food. He's eat McDonald's and shit, which is straight up, I know it's good as hell, but it's straight up poison. But yeah, he's like, just has so much energy. He was doing like 3 rallies a day. Like, I don't know. Oh, somebody call back. I think somebody's trying to call. Call back. 512-481-7464. I didn't see it. Okay. So, Britty, are you in LA? Are you on the West Coast? Yeah, I'm in Texas. It's like 8:30 here. Oh yeah. 512-481-7464. Yeah, I'm in Texas. So I want to eat too. All right, one last caller. Hello. Who is this?
What up?
What up? Who's
this?
Hey,
this is yet another David.
David number 2.
This is my second call. Yeah, this is David Harrell. I'm from Illinois. What's up?
What's up? How are you doing?
You had like 2 other Davids calling, right?
Just one today.
Already?
I write down the name so I don't forget. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to change my name, I guess.
Yeah, you can just be like David number 2. Are you the guy that was working for Uber? And you were, right? You called before?
No.
Is this your first time?
No, not working for Uber. No, I've called before.
Okay. I remember.
No, I'm from up north. I'm from Illinois, so.
Okay, I thought you worked in Chicago. Okay, go on. What's up?
Yeah.
What you want to talk about?
Yeah. So yeah, good to hear you again. And I'm also the commenter, also formerly known as the frickin' American. So I'm the guy in the chat room.
The frickin' American.
That's my alter ego because YouTube jailed me. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I know
So,
that is.
Oh yeah, and I corrected you earlier today because you said coronavirus has a 99% survival rate. I
Dude,
said, no, it
you're
ain't.
wrong.
It's 99.73.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the response. I get the response, but it varies though, right? It varies. It's different sources. But my point was, you're just messing with me. But the point was, it's like you have a high chance of surviving, right?
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but go on. So.
Well, I'm liking pretty much everything I hear you saying, and a lot of your callers. Obviously, you have the smartest callers on earth.
I know, I do.
And I'm watching all the same stuff on the election everyone else is. I really don't have anything to add on that, except for this. I happen to know a guy who was writing about electronic voting theft election theft like 24 years ago. And he was like so far ahead of his time. And I am very close to that guy.
Was he like a coder or
It's
something?
me. It's me.
You were writing about that?
I wrote about that, yeah, because, look, I'm old. So I wrote about this when I was in college in the 90s, okay? And I was a columnist for the paper. I was the opinion editor, and I was also like very into underground stuff and conspiracy and so forth. Mm-hmm. And so I heard about this via talk radios, and so I started writing about it. And actually, if you go back, you can go back even to the 80s, and 60 Minutes ran a segment all about voting machine fraud. I think they did like one segment. It's like nothing else. It didn't get picked up elsewhere. They didn't make a big cause out of it, and it didn't become a big thing in the media. But yeah, it aired on 60 Minutes. You could probably Google it, or maybe you can find it on YouTube.
60 Minutes used to be so good.
Yeah. Yeah, CBS, and they talked about, they were different names back then.
Yeah, back when journalism wasn't like corrupted like it is now, you know?
Well, it was just older technology, but and then there a book was released called Vote Scam in like maybe 95 or so. And I'd heard about that book also. I heard the authors of that book on a radio talk show. And so that's why I wrote about it in my college paper. And so I haven't done anything since then, but this has been around a long time. People have been aware of it for a long time. And it's just amazing that it takes this long to get like a critical mass going, or to get the events happening that actually expose this. So, and Bev Harris has been out there. She's been out there for like 20 years talking about this. So
what's her name? Bev Harris?
We're finally
what?
Bev Harris, Black Box Voting. Black Box Voting, Bev Harris.
Black Labs, what?
She had, Bev Harris, it's a book, and she has sort of a group called Black Box Voting.
Oh, Black Box.
And Black Box Voting, and she's all about exposing the electronic fraud, and she's been doing that for like ever since like 2000. So.
You know, it's funny
people have been at it for a long time.
Yeah, it's funny though. There are always people that are ahead of their time, and it's just like, it's frustrating for those people, because now when people finally try to catch up, they're like, "I told you so," or they're dead. Yeah. And by the time people like catch up. So when you were writing about it, was it the same? Did you have like knowledge of like maybe an internet system, or like what was your like take on it, like how they would do it?
No, back then, I mean, we barely had the internet. I mean, so I didn't mess with the internet at all in '96. I didn't have email or anything. So supposedly for all that was known at the time, the voting machines were not networked. However, maybe people just weren't aware of it at the time. So I can't say, but they didn't have wireless back then. But so as far as we knew, what was going on was they could fix the vote locally. The tech people who worked a certain city or whatever could get into those machines and they could hack them. They might have even had a thing where you could like hook a modem into it, like a physical modem, like with wires and stuff. So they might have had that. They probably did, but there wasn't much of an internet back then, and as far as I know, there wasn't any Wi-Fi. But it was more of a localized thing. And then also it was kind of the same with the media cartel back then, because all the big networks and I think the newspapers, they all basically supported this company called Voter News Systems, which supposedly provided the official tallies. And they supposedly, every precinct, every county, every state, they totaled up the official returns and then they would report them to the big networks, and then the networks would announce them, and then everyone would say, okay, the networks called a race, so it's over. And so it was kind of the same thing. And now they just call it something else. I think it's like Clarity or whatever. It's under different guises, you know?
Wow, that's fascinating. So
So-
it's like the difference basically was just like you were very close how they would do it, but you were just that the only thing that you were missing was like the internet, the network connections, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you couldn't press like one button. Like apparently they can do today and just press, one button or something and manipulate the whole thing out of one console. But apparently you had to, back in the day, you had to have people in different cities,
Yeah.
And obviously back in the day, there was also vote buying, and there was voter intimidation, and there was mail ballot fraud, and absentee fraud, and all the stuff that we're getting now.
And even dead people voting,
But-
that's the thing, right?
Yeah, they'll go. Yeah, dead people. Come on, I was in Chicago, so dead people voted all the time. They probably voted in this election, and the whole cemetery is full. So
Right.
in Chicago, especially.
Yeah.
So I don't really. I'm just following, the president's team and all that, and I think they got it. If the Supreme Court doesn't act crazy, or if Roberts doesn't pull like an Obamacare out of his sleeve, and convince all the new justices to go along with it, Supreme Court has to go for Trump. So I'm not that worried about it.
Aren't the majority conservative on the Supreme Court?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm not.
And if they follow the Constitution,
If they do, if they haven't been gotten to, so yeah, there's always that if, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
There's another thing, congressional races, because you talked about, I think someone else mentioned congressional races are flipping too, and we had a race up here, not my district in Illinois, but another suburban district where there was a Republican challenging a Democrat, and the Republican, election night, all the way till Saturday after election, the Republican was ahead. Then all of a sudden, Saturday, they get a dump. They get a ballot dump, and then the Democrats ahead by almost the same amount. The Republican was ahead. And then I think since then, the Democrat lead grew, and it's like 4,000 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they just found all these ballots Saturday after the election. They found a bunch of ballots somewhere, I don't know where, and that's the one I call the ice cream man versus the fake nurse, because the Republican guy, he runs ice cream stores
Mm-hmm.
and a dairy. His name is Overwise, and the Democrat is the fake nurse because she won in 2018, and she has an RN degree, but she has never treated patients, and she worked in a bureaucrat job. She never worked in a hospital or in patient care, but she went on her commercials and she dressed up in a stethoscope and scrubs, and she was like treating patients in the commercial. And so she got labeled the fake nurse. And so she won in 2018, and then she ran again in this year, and the Republican was ahead, the ice cream man, and then all of a sudden, here comes the fake nurse, and she's now 4,000 ahead. So I don't know if that's being looked into, but I hope that's being looked into also, because maybe we could pick up one more seat in the House.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of other, it's going to flip a lot of stuff over for real. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Let me ask you one question about music.
Yeah.
Are you still working on your project, as in like writing? Are you still writing stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just, oh my God. So this is my plan. I'm just going to wait till this election messes over. I have lots of friends that have YouTube channels, and I was going to use that as a resource to promote myself, but everybody's just tied up. It's all my resources are tied up. I'm tied up, and I understand, everybody's worried about this. So I'm just going to put it on hold. And then I was also trying to do like a whole album, and then I was going to do a film / the music video for every song, but the amount was very high. Like I was asking for like $200,000. With the fees and all the stuff that I had to pay Indiegogo, and it was an honest budget, but I think that amount was too overwhelming for people. So what I'm going to shoot for is I can't take my Indiegogo project down. I have to let it run its course until the 15th of December. And then I'm going to wait about a month or so. And then I'm just basically going to raise enough money for about like a five song EP. And just work at it little by little. So by the end of next year, I want to have an album done, and I want to be able to tour and perform live. So that's my goal.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the music. Yeah, do the music, and then once you get some buzz with the music, maybe then you can do like a video at a time, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I had a friend that redid the budget with me. What I'm gonna do is I think for the EP, I'm at least want to get one video done, another video done. I even stopped promoting the recent video that I did just because it's just like everybody's mind's on this election shit, Yeah. So I can't really promote in the channel.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, but just the research that I was doing, it's and especially somebody that wants to work for myself and promote myself and be my own boss with my music, it's recommended that you make a music video for at least every song you release. And I follow Tom McDonald and his business model a little bit. I've been looking at him, and he has a music video for every song that he puts out. So,
and you know what? They don't have to be fancy, or they don't all have to be expensive, right?
Yeah,
you can have some that are just like you in the phone.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a few like that, but I do want to have another one that's a little bit nicely animated. And then I like the one that I did, the latest one that I did. But yeah, you're right. They don't have to be, but I'm an artist. Like I'm trying to, I'm going to put out the best that I can, stuff that I can put out,
So do you collaborate, or do you feel like you might want to collaborate with anybody on anything for this project, or
yeah?
Or
I mean,
else?
What do you do?
Do you?
What do you do? Are you like
okay?
What do you are you saying because you want to collaborate?
What do I not do? Musically, I'm really eclectic, and I'm always juggling like a whole different bunch of ideas and a lot of different things, a lot of different styles.
Well,
I tried to pick up guitar earlier this year.
Okay.
Didn't that's not something you teach yourself. You gotta have lessons for that.
Oh yeah, I'm getting lessons. Well, I taught myself guitar a little bit, and I play piano and I play flute and stuff. So I haven't played the flute in years. I'm actually gonna get lessons from a friend pretty soon, within the next month or so, just because I need to figure out the fretboard and stuff. But I mean, my songs that I wrote, I played the guitar in the last. Oh no, there wasn't guitar in that last song. Anyway, not the. No, my friend played guitar in the last song. Sorry. That I released, but the next song I'm working on, I'm playing guitar, I'm learning that, but I do need lessons. So, but yeah, I have a friend that's going to teach me that. And
you pretty much gotta have some kind of instruction. I guess especially the older you get, I don't know, it's just hard for me to bend my hand the right way, and you gotta contort your fingers in all kinds of weird ways. Yeah. I had a lesson like back in 6th grade. We did in music class. We did a whole unit on guitar, and so it was easier back then. But maybe I'm just old, so my fingers don't bend.
No, I don't buy into that. You just have to develop dexterity. Like I played the flute. I got instruction on that, but I feel like and then I have like a Euro piano, and I can make my way around the piano. I do want instruction as far as technique, just so I can be more fluid. But you can teach yourself, you know, to a certain point, and then if you want to get better with technique, you might need instruction. But there's so many tools out there now. I mean, you could.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like get some basic lessons, you know, for basic stuff and chords and placement and so forth, and then I can go and teach I've already got the music in my head. In fact, I write guitar songs in my head, and I just need the skills to actually play it with my hands, or I just need someone else who can play it. So
yeah, I mean,
but I'm also a keyboardist too, so that's my main thing.
Okay, yeah. No, for sure. Guitar's a little harder. Keyboard's easy. It's percussion. You just boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's not easy.
It is.
It's easier than guitar.
Comparatively.
Guitar.
It is. It's linear. You can see everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Guitar's weird. I gotta admit, it's weird.
Yeah, I know.
It's a weird.
You'll get used to it, but I'm getting used to it. I'm developing calluses on my fingers. Yeah, but that's the key too, is once you get your calluses, because it kind of hurts, especially I had it, yeah, so you got to like develop that, and
well, I don't have that issue, but my issue is just the bending and getting around the neck and whatever. My fingers feeling like they're too fat. I can't fit them into all the shapes they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, you can work your way. Your fingers aren't fat. There's nobody, I mean, there's a way to work around that. You can even contort your fingers and play like on the tip of your finger. You're not putting your whole finger down, but there's a way around it. So maybe if you get instruction, it will help you have confidence. But don't buy into the fact that you're old and that your fingers are fat. That's bullshit. I'm serious. That's not, I think, I can do a whole like video, and I might in the future, just talking about the myths of aging and how we stop ourselves by telling ourselves that we're too old to do something. And most of the time, maybe in some cases, but most of the time that's not true.
Yeah. I'm facetious mostly when I say that, poking some fun at myself, but
but watch your words though, because you start to internalize them, and I think people do that a lot. But at the same time, they you do it enough, you start to believe it. So I'm just saying, I'm really cautious about, especially since I'm a songwriter. I know the power of words and the power of music, so I'm very careful about what I say and what I put out there. Words are magic. You really can. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You're right. That's a good thing to remember. Hey, if I send you something, or if I like send you a link or something that you can listen to some of my stuff, and if you feel inspired or something, feel free to, maybe we could like long distance collab or something like that. I have some songs that are for females.
Okay.
Because I write, what I hear is what I hear. So if I hear a female voice on it, that's what I make it for. So.
Okay.
You might fit some of this. So.
Okay, well, you can email it to info@truthertalk.com. I at the moment, I have enough musicians right now to do what I need to do. But it's always great to just know other musicians and just because you never know what the future might bring. So yeah, I'll be open. But I'm already.
And you feel like. You got enough songs too? You feel like you got enough songs too?
I write my songs. I'm like, my songs are very personal. And I write all my stuff, and then I have people that collaborate and add stuff and maybe give me ideas and stuff. But yeah.
Well, I always I like to get other people's opinions about my stuff, or I like to hear other people's music as they're in the process too. So, whatever, we'll talk.
Okay.
I'll probably send you a couple of things just to get your comment, because some things I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, cool, David. Thank you.
Okay, so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good talking.
You too. Good night.
Peace, love, blessings. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Hey, guys. All right, that's it, y'all. I'm about to bounce. I need to eat, and then I need to go to bed. So, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit upset that I wasn't able to stream to Facebook because this is a really good night. I feel like we got some really good callers. I had some really good callers, or a lot of you called in that were good. And I know that my family, I have more family members that will be watching on Facebook. So I'm hoping some of them would hear some of what you guys had to say. So I'm going to try. I'll probably be doing testing during the week just to make sure by next week, Facebook will be up and I'll be able to stream simultaneously. But I'll be throwing up some videos of the week, and you guys, we got this. And thanks so much for all your support, and I will talk to you later. All right. Peace, you, love you guys. Bye-bye. Mwah.